Chosen ones, let's talk about the undeniable glow you carry, the one that sets you apart, makes you stand tall, and draws eyes wherever you go. That light? It's no accident. It's the result of your resilience, your purpose, and your refusal to settle for mediocrity. And while many admire it, there are others who simply can't handle it. That's right, your brilliance doesn't just illuminate your path. It exposes the insecurities of those watching from the sidelines. So, if you've felt the sting of envy lately, whispers behind your back, shade thrown your way, or outright hostility, it's not because you've done something wrong. It's because you're shining too brightly for them to ignore. Let me be clear. Their jealousy is not your burden. It's your badge. It's proof that you're on the right track, doing the things they wish they had the courage to pursue. Today, we're diving into why you've been targeted and why their envy is the greatest validation of your journey. You're not here to dim your light, to make others comfortable. You're here to rise, unapologetically, and this moment is just the beginning. Excelling in any field has a peculiar way of amplifying the inner struggles of those around you. While your accomplishments might shine like a guiding star, they simultaneously unveil the areas where others feel they falter. This exposure isn't deliberate on your part. It's an unintended consequence of striving for greatness. For individuals already battling self-doubt, this contrast can feel like a harsh spotlight, making it difficult for them to overlook their own perceived inadequacies. What adds to their discomfort is how your achievements force them to confront truths they've long avoided. Perhaps they've been unwilling to take bold steps, neglected to put in the required effort, or overestimated their own abilities. These realizations, once dormant, rise to the surface as they measure themselves against your success. This isn't a wound you've inflicted, but one they've had all along. Your progress merely revealed it. Instead of acknowledging their internal battles, it often seems easier to redirect their frustration outward. Undermining or attacking you becomes a way to evade the daunting task of self-reflection. The irony lies in the bitterness of exclusion. They don't resent your achievements solely because they're remarkable. They resent them because they weren't invited to share in the glory. In their logic, if they can't benefit from your journey, they'll try to derail it. Envy thrives on destruction rather than self-improvement. So, when you're faced with unwarranted criticism or subtle antagonism, let it serve as a silent affirmation of your impact. It's not a reflection of any failing on your part, but a testament to how deeply your presence challenges their narrative. Envy isn't born from admiration, but from the agony of feeling outpaced and powerless to catch up. It's not a craving for what another possesses, but a deep frustration over the impossibility of achieving it, no matter the effort. The ache isn't rooted in the rewards themselves. It's in recognizing that some abilities, drive, or boldness to pursue opportunities are beyond their reach. This realization doesn't stem from external circumstances, but from internal limitations they can't escape. The sting intensifies when they see the deliberate effort and persistence behind success. It acts as a reminder of the chances they ignored, the risks they feared, and the energy they withheld. This self-awareness doesn't inspire them to reflect, but pushes them to redirect their unease outward, targeting those who embody the qualities they lack. It's less painful to critique others than to confront the truth about their stagnation. Their frustration breeds a cycle of passive resistance, whispered criticisms, calculated disruptions, and schemes to undermine. They know these actions won't elevate their status or change their reality, but they cling to the hope that dragging others down might mask their inadequacies. Watching someone thrive despite their attempts only amplifies their sense of failure. Ultimately, envy is the echo of aspirations left unrealized. It isn't something caused by those who excel. It's a wound exposed by their presence. The more success highlights the gap between ambition and action, the more unbearable the truth becomes. The bitterness they carry doesn't alter the trajectory of others, but it does underline their own struggle to reconcile dreams with reality. This is your moment to rise. Subscribe now and let's make it unforgettable. What unsettles them is not just your current achievements, but the limitless trajectory they see unfolding before you. It isn't your present state that fills them with unease. It's the sheer possibility of what you might become. They observe your relentless drive, your capacity to adapt and grow, and they recognize that you are far from reaching your peak. This realization unsettles them deeply, as it shines a glaring light on their own inertia. Potential carries a peculiar weight, one that amplifies their sense of inadequacy. Each step you take toward growth becomes a reminder of the choices they've avoided, the risks they were too paralyzed to take. It's not enough for them to begrudge what you've achieved. They fixate on preventing the milestones you haven't yet reached. They aim to undercut your progress early, as if sabotaging the foundation could somehow halt the towering structure they anticipate you'll build. Their actions, however, betray their fears. Every attempt to obstruct, every disparaging word only underscores the reality they are reluctant to admit. You possess something they cannot replicate. Instead of channeling their energy towards self-improvement, they pour it into extinguishing your spark. To acknowledge your potential would require them to confront their lack of determination, their unwillingness to push forward. Their apprehension stems from the understanding that you are advancing toward a destination they'll never see. Your capacity to grow, evolve, and surpass the boundaries that confine them is not an affront to them directly, but a stark reminder of what they refuse to strive for. It's not your journey that threatens them. It's the undeniable proof that greater heights are possible for those who refuse to settle for less. That truth, more than anything, is what they find impossible to face. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Your light shines boldly, a testament to resilience, drawing both admiration and unease. Jealousy doesn't fade, it fixates, twisting admiration into resentment. Those consumed by envy fix their gaze on you, not out of hatred, but because your presence confronts them with what they've avoided in their own lives. You remind them of potential realized, of strength they fear they lack. Though they feign indifference, their actions reveal otherwise. Like moths to a flame, they scrutinize your every move, hoping to find flaws. Their focus isn't really on you, it's on what you represent: courage, confidence, and purpose. Rather than using your success as inspiration, they let bitterness take root, turning their energy to critique instead of growth. But their fixation is a silent acknowledgement of your power. While they remain trapped in resentment, you continue forward, untouched by their distractions. Let their attention remind you, your light is too bright to ignore. Keep walking in faith, chosen one. Your purpose is unstoppable. Admiration often hides behind the veil of criticism, as some people mask their longing for traits they lack by turning their appreciation into hostility. Those who launch attacks against you often do so not because they truly despise you, but because they see something in you they deeply desire, yet feel incapable of embodying. Your courage, accomplishments, and ability to stand out become sources of discomfort for them, as they amplify the voids they perceive in their own lives. Rather than acknowledge their quiet admiration, they reshape it into resentment. Confronting their own shortcomings feels far more painful than projecting those insecurities outward. It's less about who you are and more about what you represent, a standard they find themselves unable to meet. Criticism becomes their shield, a defense mechanism against the internal conflict of simultaneously admiring and envying you. Dear brothers and sisters, the peace of God be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporary concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this gesture will come back to you 100-fold in abundance. Their fixation isn't born out of indifference. Effort is required to undermine, gossip, or cast doubt, and that effort is fueled by the emotional weight you hold in their lives. Your confidence magnifies their uncertainties. Your success highlights their unfulfilled goals. It's not your achievements they despise. It's the comparison your presence forces them to make. Rather than openly admitting admiration, they twist your strengths into flaws, labeling self-assurance as arrogance or dismissing your success as mere chance. These distortions make their world more comfortable, as tearing you down feels easier than lifting themselves up. Yet their attempts to diminish your shine only reveal how much your light matters to them. The energy they invest in discrediting you is the unspoken acknowledgement of your influence, proving that even their harshest words are rooted in reluctant respect. Let them criticize. Each jab is a silent testament to the impact you've made. Resilience has a way of revealing what others would rather keep hidden. Each time you rise above difficulties or persist in the face of adversity, it forces those who struggle with their own limitations to confront an uncomfortable truth. It's not merely your achievements that bother them, it's the stark reminder of the strength they feel they lack. Your determination becomes a reflection of what they could have been if they had chosen differently. For many, watching someone navigate the same rough waters but refuse to sink dismantles the comforting narratives they've built around their own stagnation. Excuses like, "The odds were stacked against me," or "Success is for the lucky few," begin to crumble. Your ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks undermines their reasons for staying still, making your progress not just inspiring, but deeply unsettling to them. And yet, they can't turn away. They observe, waiting for the moment you falter, hoping it will justify their decision to stop trying. But when you continue to succeed, their unease only grows. It's not your triumphs alone that disturb them. It's the endurance and grit that remind them of their own untapped potential. They project frustration onto you, not because of any wrongdoing on your part, but because your resilience illuminates their missed opportunities and moments of surrender. The reality is, people who lack perseverance often feel a sharp sting when confronted by those who refuse to give up. Your strength holds up a mirror to their struggles, magnifying the gap between their choices and what they could achieve. This reflection isn't something they can easily escape, and it's easier to resent you than to face the possibility of their own growth. Their discomfort doesn't diminish your journey, it affirms it. Feel what it truly means to be chosen. You're not alone on this journey. If deep down you feel that you're chosen, you've come to the right place. Take the next step in connecting with us, unlocking exclusive content, and receiving the support you need on your spiritual path by clicking the Join button. This isn't just about being part of a community, it's about accessing unique insights that can transform your life and bring you closer to your divine calling. Make the choice today and walk this journey with us. Claim your place among the chosen ones. Join now. The attempts to undermine you are not just about tearing you down. They are a plea for recognition from those who feel overlooked. They lack the ability to draw attention through their own merit, so they latch onto your success in hopes of gaining visibility. Conflict becomes their chosen tool, a way to inject themselves into your narrative when their own story feels insufficient. By targeting you, they seek validation in a space they can't earn on their own. The irony is hard to miss. If you were insignificant, they wouldn't expend their energy on you. Instead, your presence serves as a magnet for their frustrations and ambitions. Whether it's your accomplishments, your influence, or the attention you naturally command, they see something in you they can't ignore. But rather than strive for their own growth, they attempt to steal some of your spotlight by opposing you. Stirring trouble becomes their way of asserting relevance, as controversy always draws eyes. Your fire is your power. Ready to rise? Subscribe now and let's ignite greatness together. At its core, this behavior reflects desperation. Without a compelling path of their own, they attempt to tether themselves to yours, hoping that by creating friction, they'll become part of the conversation. Harsh words, baseless criticism, or attempts to undermine aren't declarations of truth. They're cries to be noticed. They believe that by opposing you, they can elevate their own importance. What they fail to grasp is that these actions only highlight their insecurities and dependence on your influence. Ironically, their efforts to diminish you only elevate your standing. The attention they draw to their criticism inadvertently reinforces your significance. While they scramble for relevance, you continue to lead the way, not because of their noise, but because of your undeniable impact. Their attempts to distract from your achievements only affirm what they seek to deny, that you're the focal point for a reason. Envy rarely stands alone. It thrives on collective validation, gaining momentum when individuals with similar insecurities band together. The weight of their frustration feels unbearable in isolation, so they seek out others to share in their dissatisfaction. Together, they weave exaggerated stories, distort truths, and amplify minor flaws to craft a shared adversary, you. Their resentment morphs into a collective effort, transforming their personal feelings into what they present as a justified cause. At its core, this dynamic isn't truly about you. It's a mechanism they use to validate their own discontent by shifting blame outward. By convincing themselves and others that you're the problem, they temporarily shield themselves from self-reflection. It becomes easier to adopt a shared narrative of criticism than to confront their individual inadequacies. What emerges isn't a pursuit of truth, but a coordinated attempt to diminish your accomplishments through unfounded accusations or thinly veiled judgments. The more individuals they recruit to their side, the more secure they feel in their bitterness. Yet, their collective effort doesn't weaken you. It reveals their own fragility. The dependence on group consensus underscores their lack of inner confidence. What they fail to realize is that the strength of a crowd built on envy and resentment is hollow. It thrives not on unity, but on mutual dissatisfaction, leaving it vulnerable to collapse under the weight of its own negativity. Their fixation on you ultimately works against them. The more they obsess over tearing you down, the more they elevate your significance. By making you the centerpiece of their conversations, they inadvertently grant you more visibility and power. In their attempts to overshadow your accomplishments, they only highlight your ability to command attention and remain resilient in the face of their envy. Their collective energy becomes a testament to your impact, proving once again that envy breeds irrational behavior and misplaced efforts. The root of their resentment often lies in the way others gravitate toward you. The respect, admiration, and genuine affection you naturally draw from people around you aren't just acknowledgments of your character, they're glaring reminders to some of what they struggle to attain. Watching you form meaningful connections and earn sincere validation strikes a chord within them, highlighting the gap between their reality and what they yearn for. What frustrates them isn't merely your achievements or popularity. It's the feeling of being unseen, in contrast to your presence. While you thrive in an environment of acceptance and appreciation, they feel excluded, trapped by insecurities that prevent them from building similar bonds. The warmth you attract amplifies their sense of isolation, making it easier to direct their frustrations at you rather than confront the internal challenges they face. This frustration is rarely a reflection of anything you've done directly. Instead, it reveals what they perceive to be lacking in themselves. They observe the loyalty and affection you inspire and wonder why they can't achieve the same. It's not about you being more deserving. It's about their fear of falling short in ways they can't articulate. Your ability to connect becomes a mirror, reflecting their unmet emotional needs and unfulfilled aspirations. The more you are embraced and celebrated, the more painful it becomes for them to watch. It isn't your success that fuels their bitterness. It's what your success reveals about their own struggles. Your capacity to forge deep connections feels like a spotlight shining on the voids they avoid addressing. Each moment you're appreciated becomes a reminder of what they believe is missing, making your presence a constant challenge to their self-perception. Join the journey. Subscribe now and let's make greatness happen. The allure of success often blinds people to the sacrifices it demands. They see the accolades, the recognition, and the position of influence, yet they remain oblivious to the struggles, setbacks, and relentless effort that made it all possible. What they covet isn't the journey, but the destination. They wish for the rewards without enduring the process. Rather than acknowledging the effort it took, they opt to discredit it, crafting a narrative that your achievements came easily or without merit. They desire the fruits of your labor without ever planting seeds of their own. The relentless nights of dedication, the emotional toll of setbacks, and the resilience required to move forward are things they wouldn't dare endure. Yet they envy the outcomes and attempt to downplay the work behind them, convincing themselves and others that your success is more chance than choice. This helps them shield their own shortcomings, allowing them to dismiss your journey as less valid. Believing you were simply handed what you've built is a more comfortable perspective than facing the truth that every milestone you've reached is the result of consistent and deliberate effort. Their attempts to diminish your achievements aren't just criticisms, they're a reflection of their reluctance to walk a similar path. By casting doubt on your efforts, they try to justify their own inaction, masking their inability to take similar steps. What they fail to see is that undermining your journey only reinforces their distance from it. Each effort to tear down what you've built underscores their unwillingness to pay the price of perseverance. No matter how much they try to invalidate your accomplishments, they cannot replicate what they haven't worked for. Their envy only solidifies what they fear to admit. The cost of success is courage, dedication, and resilience, qualities they've yet to embrace. When jealousy takes hold, it doesn't stop at mere discontent. It warps perception. Those gripped by envy often resort to fabricating falsehoods, twisting events, or crafting deceptive narratives in an attempt to reshape how others view you. Deep down, they recognize their inability to rival your achievements or match your capabilities, so they redirect their energy toward rewriting the story to suit their insecurities. Their ultimate aim isn't just to undermine you, it's to construct a version of reality where their inadequacies feel less glaring. These distortions go far beyond casual chatter. They are deliberate efforts to tarnish your image. By portraying you as unworthy, insincere, or undeserving, they hope to diminish the impact of your accomplishments. The flaws they invent serve as a smokescreen, helping them rationalize their envy and align others with their perspective. Yet, the more effort they pour into distorting the truth, the clearer it becomes that your success unsettles them in ways they can't confront directly. What they fail to realize is that their fabrications do more to highlight your influence than diminish it. If you weren't excelling, they wouldn't feel the need to twist reality in the first place. Their actions are a tacit admission that you've made an impact they can't ignore. The stories they spread, designed to diminish your worth, instead reveal their inability to accept the truth of your success. No matter how many lies are told, the reality remains unchanged. Your accomplishments are rooted in effort, resilience, and authenticity. Their attempts to rewrite the narrative are futile against the foundation of what you've built. The truth, unwavering and undeniable, stands tall above their distorted tales, proving time and again that your place has been rightfully earned. The inability to control your path is what truly unsettles those consumed by envy. They thrive on the idea that their approval is essential, that they hold the power to validate or deny success. Watching you rise without seeking their endorsement forces them to confront an uncomfortable truth. Their influence over your journey is non-existent. Your independence strips them of the control they desperately crave, leaving them grappling with their own irrelevance. It's not just that you succeed, it's that you do so unapologetically, free from their validation. While many conform to expectations or chase recognition, your ability to forge your own way sets you apart. This refusal to rely on external approval challenges everything they believe about how progress should work. They cling to the notion that success requires permission from the right people, and you've dismantled that belief by proving otherwise. Every accomplishment you achieve without their input magnifies their insecurity. It underscores their own need for constant validation, contrasting sharply with your self-sufficiency. Their frustration grows with each of your successes because it reminds them of their diminishing relevance in your life. For them, your independence is a glaring reminder of their own dependency on external affirmation. Ultimately, their resentment is a projection of their internal struggles. It's not about your accomplishments, but their inability to thrive without approval. Their envy reflects the discomfort of facing someone who embodies resilience and autonomy. Yet, their attempts to diminish you only highlight their lack of understanding. Your success is the product of effort and self-belief, not luck or privilege. No amount of bitterness or criticism can dim the light you've built through your own determination. Their frustration doesn't define your worth. It reveals their own limitations. Keep moving forward with confidence. The negativity you face is proof of your progress and the impact you're making. Each attempt to undermine you shows that your success is earned, not given, and your determination grows stronger with every step. Your strength comes from within, not from validation or criticism. By thriving despite opposition, you inspire others and show that true success doesn't need approval. Let their envy fuel your resolve, knowing that your light can't be dimmed. Stay committed, rise above, and continue thriving. You're exactly where you're meant to be.